Hey guys, it's Francina Simone, and today I am here with a book review on American Street by E.B. Zaboy. Okay, so guys, honestly, I already filmed this, except for my mic's going out, so half the volume was all fucked up. So, we're doing it again. Also, you'll notice that my, surroundings have changed a bit. One, I'm too pregnant to sit on my normal stool that I film on, so I'm just gonna sit on my couch now. And two, I've got a new plant to kill. Do you see green back in my life? So, for those of you who are new to American Street, it's about a girl who migrates from Haiti all the way to America with her mom. However, in the JFK airport, her mom gets detained and sent to New Jersey while she moves on to the inner city Detroit to live with her family. Now, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm raving about this book. I love this book. I love cultural stories, especially first-time experience in America from a different culture. Those are honestly just my jam. I don't know what it is. I think I just like first-time cultural experiences and culture shock and cultural differences and culture, people who write cultural differences really well. I love that. So anyways, this story follows one character, Fabiola, and her first person perspective. So you get everything that she is thinking, how she sees the world, how she sees Haiti versus how she sees America, how she is adapting to new family life, how she's adapting to school life, to the urban life, urban American life, I should say. And I just thought it was amazing. So when I review a book based on quality, I only go through three categories: character, plot, and world. So let's go ahead and jump into character. So with Fabiola, I really love how she was written. I love how her perspective was written because everything was colored in her lens. And by that, I mean everything that you got to experience in Detroit and everything you got to experience in her flashbacks of Haiti were all in her perspective, with her voice and her ideas, her feelings of how the world around her works and everything. And guys, I am a sucker for that because it builds world so well. It builds a great connection with the reader and the character, and it is great for character development because we see where the character is, what their wants are, where they're starting, and then where they're going. So I love that. I love Fabiola. All the other characters in the story, I thought they were all very interesting and they were all very well done. This book honestly is a layered text. It's very small, you can see that, but it's got a ton of layers of character development, especially with the background characters. You really have to peel them piece by piece with everything that they say, everything that Fabiola notices about them. It is a clue into who they are. You're never going to get flat out, actually that's a lie. Sometimes in here there are first person pieces, almost like a letter written by the character, which I thought was really interesting in the way that she did that. But that's kind of writing style and stuff like that. So I don't really talk about that when it comes to quality because it's all in how the book is built and that's all subjective. So, but you do get sometimes those little first person snippets from the background characters. However, from Fabiola's perspective, what she notices about the characters and how she's digesting it based on her cultural understandings, and then how we digest it as a reader based on our American cultural understandings. And I'm going to take a step further and say how I digest it as an African American, my cultural understandings of what her environment is, because I've lived in an urban environment, not necessarily urban impoverished, to really connect with the Detroit impoverished community that she's in. However, my perspective on that added another layer to be able to understand these characters. And so I have to give it to E.B. Zaboy. She did a really amazing job on layering the characters. Fabiola is young, but she's been through a lot. She's been through the earthquake in Haiti. She's been through poverty in Haiti. She's been through poverty in America. She's been through drugs, violence, all sorts of crazy stuff. She's not necessarily into drugs, but she's been in environments like that, especially in America, that's surrounded by drugs and alcohol and abuse and stuff like that. So she has seen a lot, which matures her as a character. However, you still get the feeling that she's young, and you still get the feeling that it's a fresh perspective on everything that's going on. So I love that about this. But let's go ahead and move into plot, because a lot of what I'm going to say next is involved with plot. This book has a lot of fantastical realism in it, and a lot of the plot is kind of wrapped up in this fantastical realism that has a lot to do with her spirituality. So a lot of the plot is wrapped up in that, plus you've got her day-to-day life plot, plus what's going on in her family life, plus what's going on with her mom. And I would have to say that the plot takes a back seat to the character development and the world development. However, it's still very solid, and I did enjoy it. If you don't like fantastical realism, the plot might bother you quite a bit. Err on the side of caution with reading this if you're not into fantastical realism. However, how motherfucking ever, there are so many topics covered in this book that I've seen the complaint that it tries to cover too much. And I think the problem is because this book is so small and it does cover a lot of topics, it is a very dense read. And if you are not ready to unpack everything that is in this book, all of the baggage in this book, you're going to feel like it covers too much in too short a period of time. But if you're willing to really go through it and unpack it page by page, you're going to feel like it covers a lot of topics, because this is a very accurate portrayal of what life is like. We have a lot of topics that we cover in our life, and I have to say that in an urban environment, especially an impoverished urban environment, you're tackling a lot of fucking topics in your own motherfucking life, like drug abuse, alcohol abuse, physical domestic abuse, police brutality, gang brutality, and the confusion between community that is both positive and inspiring and community that's negative, but it's your community and your only support base. So that's kind of what you have, and that's kind of, what you lean on, even though it's toxic. I mean, it's a lot to unpack. And I think for someone who doesn't really understand what it's like to live in an impoverished urban area in America, this might seem like it just comes at you and it's heavy and you don't really know how to take it. And wow, I think, again, E.B. Zeboy did an amazing job with the plot on this and tackling the topics that are in this. But again, fantastical realism, if it's not your thing, steer clear, because that might actually drive you crazy. Let's move on to world, because I want to hit on culture and something that I loved about this book that I don't see done well enough in other books. So with world, and when I talk about world, I consider culture a very big part of world, no matter what type of story you're writing. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, if it's contemporary, it doesn't matter. You have to have culture in your world, because there can never be two characters in the same place. There can never be two human beings in the same place that don't develop a type of culture. Now, I love that E.B. Zeboy, she takes the time out to really explore Haitian culture through Fabiola and what it means to her and what she takes from Haiti and takes with her, and how she reflects on how different Haitian culture is from Black American culture. Now, I love this for two reasons. One, because it really shines a light on the African diaspora. Americans in general forget that Black is a color, not an ethnicity, not a nationality, and certainly not a homogeneous culture. There are so many different types of cultures that make up Black people, especially here in America, as we have a lot of immigrants from a lot of different places. Actually, everybody is an immigrant unless you are native. So I love it for that reason, because it shines lights on the African diaspora, but also because it gives us a feeling of what it is honestly like to live in an impoverished urban area. Like, guys, I cannot say how often, like, growing up in Orlando, Florida, I know a lot of different types of places in Orlando, Florida. Not all of them are touristy and nice. Not all of them are suburbia. Not all of them are the best places to be. I know very intimately one of the worst, most notorious urban areas in Orlando, Florida. So I can honestly say that I just love the depiction of what it is like, and the complexities of what it's like. And even if in its reflection on culture, you honestly can kind of understand and see how American culture is still very young and still very lacking as far as other traditional cultures that are much more older and much more cohesive. There's an interesting perspective on culture when that happens. And that's all in this book, guys. This small spaces and pages. And I got all of that from in here. I can honestly say that I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars on quality, because it really hit on every single element. You have character was flawless, plot was amazing, and world was just rich and beautiful. And I mean, it was ugly. It was real ugly. But there's a beauty in the raw honesty and authenticity of that. So definitely who I would recommend this to. I'd recommend this to people who like contemporary, people who like cultural pieces, people who like to explore other cultures through first person perspectives, not necessarily to learn about Haiti or to learn about Haitians, but to learn about someone's culture from an actual individual in a place. And in this case, you're going to get both someone who is from Haiti, but someone who is in an urban Detroit impoverished area. So that's interesting. If that's interesting to you, I would definitely pick up this book. I would not pick it up if you don't like fantasy realism. And honestly, I would not pick it up if you don't like heavy reads. Because there is a lot of unpacking to do with this. It's heavy, guys. And if you shy away from toxic communities, like toxic familial buildups, don't read this. This is not going to be heartwarming for you. This is not going to be a read that you can say you feel better afterwards. This is not a soapbox piece either. So if you're looking for this to make commentary on like social topics, to teach you something, or to teach you something about being Haitian, or to teach you something about being in Black America, don't pick this up. It's not a book to teach. It's literally a viewpoint. You get to look into the world of a girl who's 15 and she is here and she doesn't necessarily know where she fits, or even if there is much that she wants to fit in to here. But you will definitely learn a ton. So again, not a soapbox piece, but however, a great story to really reflect on and to think about and to like dissect. I would actually honestly recommend this in classes. There's a lot of profanity and it's really heavy and stuff like that, but especially if you teach in an urban area, I would honestly say that this is a great book, because a lot of kids are going to be able to recognize things in here. And yes, there's lots of profanity, there's lots of abuse, there's lots of situations that just aren't okay, but that is everyday life for some people. And so instead of shying away from that, there's something to learn from that. So guys, overall, my subjective opinion, obviously I love this book. Like, it's great quality and I love it in general. And I honestly can't say it enough. Go read this book. If it sounds like something you want, go get it, go read it. Just go. So guys, that's it for that review. I hope you read it. If you haven't, if you have, let me know down below whether you're interested in it, whether you've read it or not, and let's unpack some things together. But quick reminder, Darkness Comes at Dawn is available for pre-order. So in the description box, go ahead and hit that link down below and get your copy. And also, if you sign up for my mailing list every Wednesday starting next Wednesday, you will get a writing tip from me that's all about storytelling. It's going to be stuff that you don't hear often, and it's going to be all sorts of great goodies for whether you're on your first draft, whether you are revising anything. So go ahead and sign up for that. Every Wednesday, you are going to get some interesting, cool, amazing writing tip that I swear will help and turn your writing around. So guys, as always, I love you and have a great day. T2YL, to talk for now. Bye.